Hello and welcome to Primary, the game where you have to build the game pieces before you can use them. This is an abstract strategy game about combining shapes and colors. I am Daniel Ungar and I designed this game together with my 8-year-old son Ruby, whose hands you will see appear in this video. At the heart of the game are these custom interlocking game pieces, each featuring one of 3 primary colors and one of 3 basic shapes. You can call them primary shapes. I know that's not a technical term, but go with it. Between the 3 shapes and the 3 colors, there are 9 distinct tiles, and the game comes with several of each type. We call these tiles half pieces because you need to create a full piece made up of 2 of them in order to form rows. Listen to that snap. It is really satisfying. You could just forget about the game and just use these as a fidget toy. It's awesome. I designed and 3D printed these guys, and it took a whole lot of trial and error to arrive at what you see here. All right, so let's get started on the gameplay. The game is played on a standard 5x5 square grid. These may look round to you, but trust me, these are squares. The object of the game is to form rows of 3 game pieces, 3 in a row. That's full pieces, each made up of 2 half pieces, that match 2 patterns covering both sides of the full piece. And the pattern you're looking for is one where for each shape and color, they're either all the same or all different. If you've ever played the game Set before, you'll be familiar with this type of pattern. Here's an example from the rulebook. You see 2 patterns here across the 3 pieces, one for the top half and one for the bottom half. So the top half is going left to right, triangle, rectangle, circle, and that's great. That fits the pattern because the shapes are all different, meaning that all 3 shapes are represented, and the colors are all different as well. And on the bottom, the shapes are different, and the colors are all the same, and that's fine. That works. What you don't want is exactly 2 of one color or shape, 1 of one of the other ones, and 0 of the third. That would not be a row. Okay, so here's what the game looks like being played. The first player takes any half piece and starts in the center square. And each player's turn, take another half piece and you can put it down anywhere on the board, either on an empty space or on top of another half piece to complete a full piece. And that's basically the game. And you're trying to get these rows. If you get a row, you take those 3 pieces off the board and keep them. And the first player to get 3 rows wins the game. The game rules include several variations, including a basic version and an advanced version. Under the basic rules, on your turn you also have the option to flip a piece upside down or to move a piece from any space to any other space, and you can get a row that way. These moves aren't allowed under the advanced rules, but by the same token, you would never need to flip pieces because under the advanced rules, there's more flexibility and there's more options for finding patterns. So the basic version is more about maneuvering and blocking your opponents, while the advanced rules reward perception and finding rows with patterns that may be harder to visualize. You can see the rules for a fuller explanation for the different variations. The rules also provide a bonus game called Primary Combos, which is kind of a separate game, but uses the same or similar pieces. This is simpler than the main game. In this game, the goal is to get 4 in a row, where there are no repeats of any shape combination or color combination. Now, here are some special translucent tiles that I made with epoxy resin, specifically for this version of the game in mind. I experimented with different amounts of dye to get the perfect level of transparency. So with these translucent pieces, it doesn't really matter which side of the piece is face up and face down. It kind of looks the same both ways, as you can see, and that works better for this game. And for the colors, you really get the primary colors effect when you see how the intersection between the 2 colors make the secondary colors, like blue and yellow make green, and red and blue make purple, etc. And I think that's pretty cool. So anyway, thank you for checking out my game. I hope you like it, and feel free to ask me any questions.